You've received your iMatrix BLE sensors in the mail. Now it's time to start collecting some data. Let's get started. I have a Neo 1D, which is a temperature and humidity sensor with a display. But this process will be similar for any iMatrix sensor. As soon as I press the button on the back of the sensor to turn it on, it's going to start collecting data and storing it within the sensor itself. We can see on the sensor's display that it's currently reading 73 degrees Fahrenheit and 41.3% relative humidity. But I want to be able to see these readings when I'm not right next to my sensor. To do this, we're going to use the iMatrix app. So I'm going to open up the iMatrix mobile app. I do have a Samsung phone, so I've downloaded the app from the Google Play Store, but if you have an Apple device, you can download the iOS version from the App Store. It works exactly the same. So let's add my Neo 1D sensor to the app. I'm going to tap here so I can scan the QR code on the device. Now it's going to walk me through a few steps to set it up. First, I press the button on the back of the device once. Now the blue LED is flashing, so I can move on to the next step. And my sensor has been found. Now I can customize it. I'm going to use this sensor to monitor the temperature and humidity in my greenhouse. So I'm going to name this sensor Neo 1D Greenhouse. And I've already taken a photo of this sensor where it's going to live in my greenhouse, so I'll add that here too. And just like that, I've added my first sensor to the iMatrix app and started collecting live data that I can view right from my phone. So far, I can only see the most recent data point from my sensor, but I really want to look at this data over time, so I can see the trends and, most importantly, set up some alerts in case the temperature or humidity in my greenhouse falls outside the range that I want. That way I can get notified. But to do this, we need to add this sensor to my iMatrix account. And that way the data is stored in the cloud for me. So I'm going to log into my iMatrix account in the app that I've already created. And this will automatically add this sensor into my account for me. Now, while I'm logged into my account in the app, any other sensors that I add will be automatically connected to my account for me. Now what I'll be able to do is click into the sensor here and go to the logs area. And here I can see the data that's been collected since I first turned it on. Right now, the data is being sent from my sensor to my phone. This is great, but I'd actually rather have all the data being stored in the cloud. To start pushing this data into the cloud, I need to enable what's called the virtual gateway. Now, the virtual gateway is inside of our mobile app. You don't need any extra hardware. So to enable our virtual gateway for the first time, I'll go into the menu and then click Virtual Gateway. Once I click into Virtual Gateway, it'll turn it on for us and start pushing our sensor's data right into the cloud. We can see it's monitoring one thing, which is our sensor. It will periodically pull the sensor for the latest data readings and then push them into the cloud for us. Now that we're pushing our data into the cloud, we can view it from literally anywhere. So we might as well use a bigger screen, right? So on my tablet, I'm using the same iMatrix app, and I've logged into my iMatrix cloud using the same username and password that I used on my phone. And I can see the Neo 1D sensor that we configured right here. So if I click into it, I can now take a look at the log data it's been collecting while it's been in my greenhouse over the last week. But I might actually want to look at this on an even bigger screen. So let me grab my laptop. So again, I've logged into my iMatrix account and we can see my Neo 1D greenhouse sensor right here. Now it's important that my greenhouse stays between 70 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's set up an alert in the case that it's outside of that range. I'll go into the settings area and then set the high limit to 80 and the low limit to 70. Now I'll get an alert if the temperature is outside of this range. In just a few minutes, we've unboxed our iMatrix sensor, added it to the app, started collecting live data, and added alerts within the iMatrix cloud. Now it's time for you to set up your own iMatrix sensors.